My brothers and sisters, thank you for tuning in. If by now, having been following us on this platform, listening to our analysis and our critical examination of the claims of both Christianity and Islam, and if you have not found out what actually is the true path of salvation, then you need to give yourself more time to examine and follow us more to understand these things. If you are not worried by the claims of Allah in the Quran and that of the Bible, then we are worried because we have to understand what this is all about. Why? Because Allah in chapter 29 of the Quran, verse 46, he kept saying that he is one and the same God with the God of the Bible, who sent Moses, who sent Jesus, who sent Muhammad in the Quran. You see, that is where the problem is. Because if it was like the Allah of the Quran is different from the God of the Bible, we wouldn't have had issues with anybody. We would have understood that these are two different deities speaking and teaching different things. But if the same deity who's supposed to have been the one behind the Bible, as the Quran said, it came to confirm the Bible, and he is now behind the Quran saying those things in the Quran which are also contradicting the Bible, then we are in trouble and we are worried about the character of this Allah. Now, listen to this. In chapter 3 and 5 of the Quran, verse 3. Let's read together. The last part of it. It said, "Today I have perfected for you your religion, completed my favor upon you, and have approved for you Islam as your religion." So Allah is saying here that he had approved Islam as to be the only acceptable religion on his side before Allah. In that very verse we just read. Now, look at chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 62, and chapter 5, verse 69. It did say that the Christians and the Jews will all go to paradise with Allah along with the Muslims. So those verses have confirmed the worship of Allah in Christianity and Judaism, or Jews and the Christians are all worshiping Allah. And that since it's one and the same God or Allah that we are worshiping, therefore we will all go to paradise with Allah and with the Muslims. But here we find out Allah saying that, no, look, I'm no longer going to accept any other form of worship. I'm no longer going to accept anyone who is not a Muslim. He has to be a Muslim, and Allah must be worshipped in the Islamic way, because that is the approved way of worship by Allah. What is Allah actually saying here? Is he still deceiving us? Could he be deceiving us? Why do I say this? In chapter 4 of the Quran, verse 142, Allah is saying that the polytheists tried to deceive Allah, but Allah himself deceived them. Oh, so we are surprised. So Allah can deceive. If Allah can deceive, then we are in trouble. Why? Because the Bible in the Old Testament, the book of Numbers, chapter 23, verse 19, say that God cannot lie because he is not human. He cannot lie. Now, the New Testament in the book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 2, it said God cannot lie. He cannot lie. Whatever God said, it stands. Let God remains the truth. You see, so the character of God in the Bible is and can never lie. And the Bible equally told us who can lie and who is a liar and father of all liars. John chapter 8, verse 44, Jesus confirmed to us the liar is actually the devil who lies and a father of all liars. So you see, the devil's character is lying. And we find Allah here lying and deceiving. In fact, deception is more stronger and more disturbing than just a lie. No, Allah is deceiving here. And we are worried. In chapter 14 of the Quran again, verse 2 and 3, Allah is saying that he decides whom he leads astray and he chooses whom to guide. So Allah will want to, at will just mislead people to hell, and that he will also mislead people on whatever path he wants. Could that be why, having understand the trick and the character of Allah, could that be why the Muslims are praying every day for Allah to guide them on the right path? Because we see that in chapter 1 of the Quran, verse 6 and 7, where the Muslims are asking God to Allah to guide them on the right path. Maybe knowing that He have the capacity to mislead, to guide astray, and to lead astray. That is why they ask Him to guide them on the path of those who have obtained favor from Him. Wow. In that case, I want you to please take this seriously, because the Allah who can lie, who can deceive, He can do anything. And that is our worry. Therefore, Jesus have given us a clear direction that He is the way, the truth, and life. Nobody can go to the Father except through Him. So I want you to kindly follow us on this for everyday update, to receive on either on TikTok or Facebook page or our YouTube channel or whichever platform you join us. You will always have the update. But we are worried about this Allah because He is simply lying from what He had said and from what we can confirm, both from the Quran and from the Bible. Thank you for joining us. Till we meet again. Bye for now.